welcome back to Community Hotline. I'm Monica Weitzel. We're here at MetroEast Community Media in Gresham, Oregon. Now for our second segment, we're going to be talking with Ian Mauser from My Voice Music. Thanks for being here, Ian.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You're welcome. My Voice Music, I first heard about you, from I think Trent Finley a while back.
Yep.
He's been a supporter of yours, and he's a colleague of mine, and he had nothing but good things to say about My Voice Music. And then I learned a little bit more about it, and then we reconnected at Fame Academy. There was that little get together there, and so I looked into it a little bit, and you were kind enough to give me a CD of some music that was created for My Voice Music. I was amazed. I was very moved, and so I would like you to share with our viewers a little bit about what My Voice Music does, what the history is, and what your vision is for that.
Yeah. So My Voice Music is a nonprofit organization. We use music to promote social and emotional skills in youth. So what does that mean, and how does that work? We just use the artistic process, writing a song, as a way to develop skills. So we take an idea, and that idea could be a song someday. And sometimes it's easy to just have an idea and say, I've got a great idea, aren't I great, right? But we push kids and we hold them accountable, and we say, let's put that idea on paper, and let's rehearse that idea, and let's perform, and let's share it publicly. And that artistic process, putting an idea into concept, making it real, rehearsing it, working, recrafting it, running up against the obstacles of the creative process, thinking of new ways to overcome those obstacles, and then ultimately sharing that with your community. That process is a microcosm of what it takes to thrive in the world and to create a fulfilled life, right?
Well said.
Yeah, and I mean, it just is. And for some kids, the classroom isn't the right place for that. For some youth, the typical methods of intervention aren't the right place for that. And so music is this wonderful new place where pop music is so ingrained in our culture that most kids want to participate in
they
pop
want to be part
music,
of that. Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so we just
their
say,
idols are in that
right.
genre. I mean, they're musicians, and those are people they look up to, and they want to be like them.
Yeah.
So, who are the kids that you work with?
Yeah. So we work with about 2,000 kids each year.
Wow.
And about 1,000 of them are in treatment. So they're in residential treatment facilities. They're in crisis. They've become
Is there drug and alcohol treatment facilities, or are they different kinds of facilities?
It's
mental
treatment
health?
for mental health, extreme emotional and behavioral challenges.
Okay.
And so they become a risk to themselves or their family, and they've been removed from the family setting, their foster placement setting, whatever it may be. They're in this residential treatment program for anywhere from a week to 3 to 6 months.
Wow.
And that facility where they are, it's every door is locked. You can't have metal utensils because somebody might use it as a way to hurt themselves. And we walk in there with a guitar, and we turn echoey hallways into choir halls, and we do hip hop ciphers, and we just use music as therapy. The creative process is therapeutic, just naturally. And so we sing songs. We sing pop songs from the Beatles to the latest Justin Bieber tune, and we just participate. And then everything we do is focused on songwriting. So even in a treatment center, we will bring in the recording gear, and we'll facilitate group activities. We'll teach the ukulele. That program is designed specifically to help the youth and the treatment facilitators, the counselors, to have a new way to connect. And so the ukulele allows the counselor, old people, young people, they want to learn how to play the ukulele.
It's become very popular, hasn't it?
Yes, and so rather than sitting on this unit that is just chaotic and complaining, we can pick up a ukulele, and now there's a way for adults that are in power to connect with young people that don't have any power, and they can just meet in a place of no power, just as peers.
You must be very welcome in those facilities.
It's huge.
I can't imagine it. I would think for the people that are the facilitators there, that are in charge there, and for the kids, it must be like a breath of fresh air to have you come in.
Yeah, and that's so. My Voice Music was founded. I was a treatment counselor, and I was also a musician.
So that's how you got into it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I worked on a unit of 6 boys. They were 10 to 12 years old. And I worked there for about a year with the same boys. This is back when there was a lot of funding for long-term residential stay. And these boys were they were boys. and they were going to figure out any way to subvert the power, which was me. And I was a young, mid-20s guy, and I was trying to be in power and gain control. And as I gained control, they took control, and there was just conflict constantly. And when there's conflict on those units, it's crises, it's physical altercations, it's major.
It's dangerous.
It's very dangerous. And so I brought in music one day as almost a way for me to cope, right? So I sat down in the morning and I played guitar as these boys woke up. And instead of knocking on their door and having them say an expletive back at me and waking up somebody across the hallway, I played my guitar, and I projected this image of this moment, right? But like the sound waves go through the air, and these boys came out and they literally sat in front of me.
Is it like
looking
the Pied
up.
Piper? They just came to you.
But it was like they'd never heard the sound of a guitar, and they just sat down. Their little eyes were just like glossy. They just woke up. Their cheeks were rosy, and their guards were down for the first time I'd ever seen in 9 months. And so
there was a learning experience going on here, wasn't there?
Yeah, right. For me, certainly.
It's like, wow, why didn't I think of this before?
Yeah. So I did that, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then one of the kids wanted to learn to play the guitar and sing a song for his talent show that was in 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And I said, that's a terrible idea. We're not going to be able to do this, my man. But I can teach all 6 of your unit crew how to play really simple parts musically. I can teach a simple part on the drums, a simple part on the bass guitar, the keys, and a vocal part, and all these simple parts combined make a dynamic sound. And so we put them together. I got it approved. When you can't bring a fork onto a unit, I got it approved to bring in a drum set, electric amplifiers, microphones, PA systems. And when I brought all that stuff in, these young men that could not be trusted were complete gentlemen. And it was a place for them to be seen for their best. And they rose to their best. And they said,
well, if you expect the best
right.
out of them, sometimes kids rise to that rather than expecting the worst, and they live down to it. Yeah.
And so that was, what was that? That was a relevant experience that they wanted to be engaged in.
Yeah.
It wasn't treatment related, but it was ultimately therapeutic. And that process lowered the physical restraints that are in units as an intervention, the isolations on the unit. All those things diminished when I had this project, and it was a 2-week project, right? So because people, the management saw the efficacy of that program, which was totally not a program, it was just an accident, I got hired on to run summer camps and music workshops with these kids year round. And
so did the light bulb go off and you present that to them, or did they come to you and say, we want you to do something with this?
You know what? I cannot claim credit for any of this.
So you were an accident waiting to happen.
I was. That's so true. So they came up to me and said, hey, we have this program. Would you be willing to do this in addition to the work you're doing? And then pretty soon those additions kind of became more and more. Wow. And then the program, my position as a music teacher throughout this whole kind of organization, that position was cut and the organization went a new way. And I was giving private lessons to a student in the West Hills, and my 1985 Toyota van broke down, and my student's parents said, hey, take our Dodge Durango, run around, get your van fixed, and then sell it and start that nonprofit you've been talking about. And so that's
how great is that?
That's how we got started. So then we work with 1,000 kids in treatment, right? We also work with hundreds of kids in alternative schools. We run accredited music classes, songwriting classes, and we just walk them through the creative process, writing a song. What's it look like? And they can own that. It could be spoken word, it could be a country song, any form of song.
Any genre you go and come up with.
And we'll record it, we'll produce it, it'll sound great. They'll leave with a CD, they'll have performed in front of their community.
And when you say perform in front of their community, where do they perform?
Yeah, well, it varies. So they could perform at their school, and it could be a concert for 150 people. It could be in front of their residential treatment staff. We'll even do performances and put bands together still in the treatment centers, and that could be in front of 15 people, and it's a caseworker and the executive director and a few people that have come down to watch this. And even that is a huge moment.
I'm sure.
Some of the kids we work with, so we work with kids in the high schools in treatment and all sorts of kind of other programs, but some of the kids come to us. And some of the kids that have come to us they have come to us either never playing an instrument and now have become these great songwriters, or maybe they came in just being amazing songwriters and just love our culture. And those kids get to perform at Mississippi Studios, they get to perform in front of our crowds at our events, they speak on behalf of the organization, and they're also a part of this like leadership training program where they will go to a 3-day leadership training.
Wow,
And then
that's impressive.
They'll become student leaders that teach youth in foster care at our free summer rock camps.
And these are the kids that were the most at-risk kids.
Yeah, yeah.
These are the kids that a lot of people have probably given up on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's a new, novel place for them to try it again.
Yeah.
And then they gain these skills that can help develop a thriving life.
That's wonderful. It's got to be so rewarding.
Yeah.
So now you're working with these kids and they are doing these performances, you're also incorporating into this whole program members of the community and the music community and the general community, right? I mean, so when it's not just you.
Right. Certainly.
So tell me about the other people that are working with these kids. You have musicians in the community.
Yeah. Yeah. So
songwriters.
Yeah, we have songwriters on our staff. You know, our program director is, you know, the 2012 Parks and Rec Youth Worker of the Year award guy. You know, and he's just this guy that's just hyper invested in the youth of Portland. His name is Santigi Fofanadura. And he's also a musician and an artist, and he does a lot of hip hop and also does a lot of songwriting. And then we have a guy named James Calkins who goes by Jay Poetic, and he's actually won twice now the slam poetry event that takes place in Chicago, and last year it was in LA.
Wow.
And then we have just other.
And these people they're contributing their time, or they on your
they're
staff?
paid staff
They're
that
paid
will work
staff.
with us, and then we have other musicians that will come in and just volunteer their time with the kids that are in alt country bands, or you know, we've had just different folks kind of volunteer
to help out here and there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, what do you, as an organization, what's your future like? Do you have big changes coming up? I mean, you've got you have an open house coming up.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. Our future is grand.
What's the open house? What are you? Did you build something new?
We did.
Tell me about it.
We moved into our first music center, and so this is a space where our philosophy of personal development through the artistic process can be open to the public. So for a long time, we've offered programs to youth in foster care, and we've offered this leadership program. And what we found is our philosophy, it goes beyond any one demographic, but it's open for everybody. And we've had everybody come into our program and just say, wow, this was effective, this is cool, this is neat. Just having the opportunity to perform on stage at Mississippi Studios or something like that. Who has
It's a big
generously
deal.
donated their stage to us. So this music center, we'll be launching hip hop classes, songwriting workshops, group guitar lessons, keyboard lessons, drum clinics, a Cuban drum program, and we'll also have a recording studio where people can come and record, and then we'll be really taking our mentorship program to the next level, which is working with these youth that are highly motivated to pursue art, you know, whether they have ever done it before or whether they've done it for years.
And what a great opportunity for them to grow and to learn and to find themselves.
Yeah.
So, and you also have you have a sliding class music, sliding scale music classes.
Yeah, so the whole thing is built around this idea of if you can pay for a lesson, you will be giving another child a lesson who can't afford it. So we have these group lessons and these group workshops, these songwriting workshops, and all these different camps. And if we can get 5 people to pay full tuition for the camp, which is incredibly reasonably priced, anywhere from $10 to $15 a session. If we can get 5 people, then we can bring in 5 kids that can't afford it. And it's a way to build up our revenue so that we can afford to be in this place, and we can build 5 years from now this all ages venue that's run by youth, for youth, that has music programming inside of it. And so on April 3rd is our open house.
Okay,
we share the vision.
So people, it's open to the public.
Come on down.
April 3rd, 5 to 8 p.m.
Yep.
And that's at 931 Southeast 6th Avenue in Portland.
And it'll be a time to celebrate the launch of this new space and all these classes. And those classes will start on April 14th. So you can register for those classes right now.
And then, and we're just about out of time, but you also have summer music camps. So if people are interested in that too, they can go to the website, My Voice Music website, and
click
get
the
all
link.
The information.
Yeah.
Great. Good stuff. Good stuff. Thanks, Ian, for being on. I appreciate it, and I'm really happy about the way your organization has just grown so well, and I hope people show up at the open house and celebrate with you.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks so much for watching us. Hope you've learned something about My Voice Music. Great organization. be there, check it out at their open house, and if you're interested, go check out their classes or their summer camps. We'll be right back with some kids from the community. They're going to be sharing their videos that they made, some 5th graders, so don't go away.